Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
This sign was seen on the front of a business in Florida, and it said as follows: "We would rather do business with 1,000 ISIS terrorists than with one single American soldier." Wow. Oh, by the way, that sign was on the front door of a funeral home. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America. Followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance on a Thursday. Good morning. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell, and we say good Thursday to you and our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and of course some of our great advertisers like Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and of course everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Good morning. Right now, start things off. Let's have our Pledge of Allegiance. And who is on the line this morning? Good morning.
Nobody is.
Oh, yes, they are.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Attaboy, Wheels, way to go. And ladies and gentlemen, right now it's time for our weather forecast. And the weather brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. Oh, by the way, don't forget tomorrow night, May 1st, that girls' night out. A lot of craft making and all kinds of goodies. Check it out at Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-6945. And by the way, Whitney says using an odd number of objects in your decor displays are more visually appealing. There you go, a little decorating tip from Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Right now, here is Michael Rogers' weather.
Sunny, 68 for the high. I cannot describe it any further than that. If you want more information on what it's going to be as far as a nice day in the Magic Valley, you've got the Weather Channel, you've got Al Roker, you've got Cantore, heck, you even got KMD&T. But I'm here to tell you that it's only going to take 5 seconds to tell you that your weather for today is going to be sunny, and it's going to be nice with a high of 68, clear night 47. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.
All right, Michael, I like that kind of a forecast. There you go. Brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Really, really good folks for all your carpet and flooring, kitchen construction, home decor, whatever you need to make your house a home. 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. Hey, it is time for Merv May to come on in here.
All right, a good set of steer calves there, here to get all the 31 going at 31 going at 32.
Oh, yeah. That's the chant of Merv May, the world's best auctioneer over at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. And sale time this morning at 10 a.m. Don't forget, for more information on the sale and a lot of the cattle going through, call 678-9411. Merv May, Cade Rogge, and Lance Udy, and everybody else there to serve you at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. And today they're looking for a lot of good 400 to 450 pounders heifers, about 87 head from Bedke's Wine Cup Ranch. And, of course, then Alan Kunzler of Park Valley going to bring in a semi-load of 2-year-old heifers. TLK Dairy from Mountain Home bringing down a semi-load of Holstein heifers. Butcher cows coming into the ring today from Moon Mountain Dairy, East Ridge Dairy, and South Ridge Dairy. And a real good run at the trailer line, bringing in livestock for the Burley Livestock Sale today, 10 a.m. Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, and Merv, sell those steers.
All right, he gets the steer calves here to get $1.31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, $7.35. Zeb Bell gets bottom again.
I tell you what, I'd take that any day compared to the old prices I've got. Hey, don't forget the National Pioneer Hall of Fame is going to present the Pioneer Farm Days, free to the public, fun for the whole family, and I got to get over there this year. I've told Colonel Dale and Ray Bagby I'd be there for, the last 6 or 7 years. Anyway, it's going to be on Friday, May 8th and Saturday, May 9th, 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock each day at 950 east of Declo, and a lot of fun. Great event for children, family, and friends of all ages at the Pioneer Farm Days. Don't you miss it. I want to remind you, too, about Ramsey Heating and Electric, our friends with all the light bulbs. Go to the light, go to the light. They've got them all. You betcha, all the regular bulbs, high and low wattage, all the halogen bulbs, everything, fluorescent lights. You'll never be in the dark. All you have to do is go to Ramsey Heating and Electric. And don't forget, too, they've got all your wiring, they've got all your venting, all your heating needs. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Oh, my. It is going to be a great weekend this weekend, and I'm looking forward to getting outside and getting a lot of things done. Hopefully the wind will not blow. Dream on. Hey, don't forget Valleywide Home and Ranch, everything for the home, the farm, and the ranch. And I want to remind you, too, at Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert, that they've got all kinds of feed for your chickens, housing, anything you need for your chicken production. And don't forget, too, they got lots of chickens, too. The chicks running all over the place. And they got all the 4-H needs, everything for the 4-Hers. And by the way, the 4-Hers get 10% off. And a brand new shipment of fishing gear. I've got to get over there. I've got to upgrade my fishing material. It's just not doing right. It's not catching any fish. I wonder if it's me. Anyway, it's all there at Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. And that's Sean and Mandy and the whole crew at Valleywide Home and Ranch. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I got to say this right up front this morning, that yesterday I was outside, just finished riding a horse and doing a little cleaning up and getting ready to feed, and all of a sudden my wife said, hey, by the way, it's just a few minutes before that story comes on ESPN about A.C. Shaw from Dietrich. And holy smokes, we dropped everything in the dirt right there and ran in the house. It was a very, very nice story about A.C. Shaw up in Dietrich and the trials and tribulations that he's gone through. Very well done, and I salute A.C. and his family and all they've done for basketball, their community, and he has been and will continue to be an inspiration for all others, and he never gives up. I really respect that. Congratulations, AC. That was a really nice program last night. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Denny's Restaurant. You walk in the door and sit down and look at that menu, and oh my goodness, I don't care if you're there for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Absolutely, one word, delicious. Oh my. The people are so nice, the service is great, but the food is delicious. Again, whether you're there for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And I'll guarantee you we have a ball over there at Zeb's Lunch Bunch every month, and you can stop in anytime, all the time at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley, or the new location that they have of Denny's Restaurant at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. It is delicious at Denny's. And by the way, too, later on this morning, we're going to have Vicky's Country Garden at 10:30 with our gardening show. So I got some questions that came in, and I certainly am looking for more. And you can always email those questions to me about gardening at Zeb at the Ranch, 4 words, Zeb at the Ranch, then the @hotmail.com. Okay? Send them over. Barry Equipment and Rental. Oh, my. These guys are busy, and they've got the equipment for any job to get it done right. And especially the M-Series Bobcat excavators, skid steer loaders, and compact track loaders. Woo! 0% interest up to 60 months, and these are good. Barry Equipment and Rental with Eli and Nick and the whole crew serving you. And by the way, they've got a brand new salesman in the Burley area. His name is Will James. Hello, Will. How you doing? And we're going to try to get him on the air this next week. So stop in or call Barry Equipment and Rental. 3 locations, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, South Lincoln and Jerome, and of course 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Barry Equipment and Rental. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
You got it right this time.
Oh, just pipe down and tell me what you need there, old sage of the West.
I read the paper again yesterday, and, you know, it's getting irritating about this Burley airport. They're trying to shut it down, and the reason is, if you got a planning and zoning board that aren't using their stupid heads, instead of getting away from that runways and the end of that south runway, they keep building stuff in there. I mean, whose fault is it that airport's getting worse and worse?
You know, this airport in Burley has caused a lot of consternation, a lot of animosity, a lot of arguments. It's caused a lot of hard feelings. And, Al, you must have ESP, because I was reading a story about it this morning, and I'm trying to put together people for coming on next week on a segment on this to really get down to the brass tacks and discuss it. And I don't want anybody to run and hide. I don't want anybody to say, well, we're gathering information. I think the public, and I think you'll agree with this, the public deserves to hear the blatant, hard-nosed facts.
Right. Every one of the plane crashes has been pilot error. I've got a cousin that's a pilot, dates back to Korea. He's an Eastern Airlines retired pilot. He says he knows for a fact that them 2 crashes that was there was pilot error. They was overloaded and too many, and then one guy was going against the wind.
Yeah.
You know, his tail to the wind. That's a bunch of bull.
Well, I'm not going to take a side on this until, and you can understand why. I've spoken out against the airport in the past. But with the new, quote-unquote, information in, I want to get people right here on the radio, right here in my studio, right here on my own personal microphones, and discuss this. And I promise you we will get that done, Al. Thank you so much.
Well, I mean, you know, it's getting ridiculous because, I mean, you can't keep building close to that runway because they've got to have liftoff, and that's all there is to it. And if you cut down that airflow coming in from the southeast or southwest, then you're asking for trouble.
You sound like you may know a little bit about flying and aircraft, like maybe, I can't imagine, maybe you were in the Air Force or something.
That's right.
Oh, my.
I walked down there that day. They had that T-33 come in with troubles.
Yeah.
They worked on it, and they said, can we get it off? And this guy said, you head it southwest and you'll make it. And you take a T-33 aircraft and that short a distance, he made it with no problem. But they keep building up below that roadway there. You got that new deal for the hospital and all that stuff. You can't keep building that close to the air runways.
Well, I tell you, Al, you know, we can sit and discuss it all we want this morning, but I promise you I'll put a segment together on that and hopefully have it on next week. But I want to tell you how much I appreciate you bringing it up because it's necessary that it be discussed.
If they come down on me, I tell you what, I know where a lot of skeletons are, so they better watch.
Well, I don't think anybody's going to come down on anybody. I mean, we're just going to get the facts and lay them out for the general public, and I thank you for bringing it up. I really do.
You bet. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to talk in just a moment, and you know one of my favorite words is dumb. Well, I got a candidate this morning that will receive the Dumb Award for the day. I tell you what, this woman should be fired from her job, not tomorrow, not next week, but today, and I'll explain why in just a moment. Don't forget Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service. They're located at 336 South, 450 west of Paul, and they know all about tree trimming. They know all about tree pruning. They know all about putting in a new sprinkler system. They can help you revamp and fix your old one. They know all about all of this stuff. They are experts. That's right, Scott Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service, 336 South, 450 west of Paul. Number to call. Oh, by the way, he's looking for some more employees, too. Good, quality, experienced employees that know all about sprinkler system and trees. Call Scott Gano, 438-2485. All right, give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'll tell you that story about that woman in just a minute. This frosts me this morning, okay? Penetron Soil Conditioner by Maisie with a 21-year proven record of increasing yield and quality of all Idaho crops. Speeding germination, reducing crusting, improving stand, and I'll tell you what, saving water, too. That is a big, big plus for Penetron Soil Conditioner by Maisie. Penetron treated crops have better roots. I got a cough drop and it was getting in front of my eye teeth and I couldn't see the paper. Penetron treated crops have better roots that reduce stress for water and nutrients. So please increase your crop's performance with a proven soil conditioner, Penetron by Maisie. Get the original and contact your crop advisor to obtain Penetron soil conditioner today. Okay? Penetron by Maisie. Did you hear about this woman, the dean of the University of District Columbia Law School? And she has won, hands down, the Dumbest Person of the Day award. She issued a statement to the students of her classes in the law school that for extra credit, they should join the Baltimore protesters and rioters. What in the world is education coming to? I mean, here, Monday, we had high schoolers running out of class after they had texted to all their friends that they're going to have a riot and gathering in the streets. And they were throwing rocks and bottles and everything else at police. And then this dumb woman dean of the University of District Columbia Law School issues a statement that for extra credit, they should join the Baltimore protesters and go riot and protest. You get an A for anarchy or something? Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I hate to take the wind out of your sails, but when Al called in, it reminded me that, Magic Valley had a chance to put in a regional airport a long time ago, and Twin Falls stomped on that.
Yep.
Ever since then, we've all been arguing about a better airport. And where are we 25 years later? It makes me furious.
It's longer than that, Chris, but I'll tell you, I know a little bit about that last chance or last gasp to have a regional airport because it was on property that our family owned over on the north side of the river. It would have been an excellent location. Everything would have benefited the entirety of Magic Valley, and yes, you are correct. The hierarchy of Twin Falls at that time had their nose up in the air, thinking they were better than others, and they wanted everything and all for themselves.
Yeah, and now we have a Twin Falls airport that limps along. And had we had a big airport out there on the interstate, all of Magic Valley and a lot of southern Idaho would have been served a lot better.
Well, you say they're limping along, but basically when you look at the structure of what could have happened back in the 70s over that, that would have been a basic help for all the cities in Magic Valley, and it would have certainly helped and taken away the problems they're having up in Haley at that airport. It would have helped everybody else in the immediate area, and this thing has it's turned into a basketball that's deflated and won't bounce.
And as far as I'm concerned, the Boerne Airport is great for the people that, it has been serving and still does, but we can't compete with a regional airport. But had we had one, we'd be being served, and it would be great.
Regional airports need to be, I think, really explained as to what the word regional means. You can go down into California, and that's a good analogy right there, California, and see regional airports. Oh, sure, there's going to be little private single-engine airports here, there, and everywhere, but regional airports, like Fresno and things like that, they service the entirety of the San Joaquin Valley. You know what?
Yeah.
And for people to think that they need their own airport, maybe 30 miles away or 25 miles away from another source of major airport landing, etc., that's ridiculous because of the cost.
Yes, right. Anyway, Al is right, but I think we're losing the battle.
I'm not going to say one way or the other because I want to get people on my program, in my studio. It's always different. People can respond differently when they're over the phone. But when they're eye to eye in a studio holding the microphone, that's more or less putting their feet more to the fire.
Well, if you want a person in your studio one of these days, I don't know a whole heck of a lot, but I remember what a disappointment that was when that election went down.
I just put your name on my list.
All right. Okay. And I tell people what I think.
Now, that's a surprising note.
Okay, see ya.
God bless you. Thank you. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Hey, don't forget, Minnecasia Sales, they sponsor Dr. History on Tuesdays. And Minnecasia Sales, Zach is one of the nicest guys I've ever talked to in my life. And just the whole crew over there, they're ready to help you with all your spring remodeling, whether it's lumber packages that you need, or whether you need to get a roof that's all fixed up with brand new shingles, or whether you need to upgrade your windows and really make sure that you're energy efficient. And they've got all the Tartar Farm and Ranch equipment over there. Oh my, you'd better just stop across from the airport in Burley. Minnecasia Sales, 1321 East Main in Burley. Really good folks bringing you Dr. History on Tuesdays. Well, right now, it is time for the Capital Press Ag Minute, and the Capital Press Ag Minute is brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Christine Pickup, Doctor of Audiology. I am going to be doing a few more tests with Christine Pickup on my hearing in the next couple of weeks, and I'll bring you updates as to what's going on. But I strongly urge you, if you are noticing a little hearing loss, you better call for a hearing screening. And Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids can and will help you. Number to call, 312-0957. 312-0957. You call them and make an appointment today. Right now, here, the Capital Press Ag Minute.
Today's Ag Minute brought to you by the Capital Press, the West Ag Weekly. U.S. Potato Board officials see evidence that a training program they run promoting dehydrated potatoes in international food aid is building demand for spuds throughout Africa. Louis Ulrich, with the International Partnership for Human Development, says his organization has been feeding potato flakes to 150,000 school children daily for the past decade in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Ulrich says the Central African country's government has recently begun purchasing potato flakes directly from U.S. suppliers for school meals. Ulrich says the wide acceptance of potatoes in food aid has also prompted the country's agricultural sector to experiment with raising U.S. potato varieties, importing seed through USPB. For the Capital Press Ag Minute, this is Brandon Tenner. For more agriculture news and information, turn to the West Ag Weekly, the Capital Press, and CapitalPress.com.
Brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology. This is a very, very nice and knowledgeable lady. Christine Pickup, Doctor of Audiology, right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room. Mount Harrison Audiology. Make a hearing screening appointment today. 312-0957. What do you think about this? I mean, the liberalness, the almost communistic approach of educators, and this dean How did she get this position? The dean of the University of District Columbia Law School telling students, hey, you want extra credit? Well, why don't you run up to Baltimore and protest and riot, and you'll learn about the ins and outs of being a professional protester. What in the world are we telling these kids? Learning anarchy for class credit? What? What are your thoughts? America is going to heck in a handbasket because of absolutely insane leadership, whether it's at the school level or political, whatever. We have absolutely, here's my favorite word, dumb leadership. Dumb leadership. And you know, the facts are not all in about what happened in Baltimore. The facts are not all in. And why did Obama and Hillary and Al Sharpton and many others, why did they always, like they did in the case of Ferguson, Missouri, yes, it's true, they jump in with both feet and a rather large mouth, and they give their opinions and admonishments against our police in America. And now, whether you believe this or not, whether you can accept it or not, it may be that Freddie Gray, the black young man that had a partially severed spine, those injuries might have occurred because he was absolutely trying to injure himself in the back of that police patrol wagon. Now you say, come on, Zeb. Wait a minute. This guy had been arrested over 20 times. He had a rap sheet on drugs and drug abuse and drug selling as long as your arm. He was not exactly your poster boy for being gee whiz model citizen. And let's just wait until all the facts are in. Let's just wait and find out what's going on before Obama, primarily, and others under him start slamming and ramming and demonizing police forces across the country. There are some really good cops. Most of them are really good cops. We are blessed in this area with really good police. Yup, there are bad ones. Yup, there are ones that you would like to say, hey, at 5 o'clock when you take that uniform off, meet me some. Some guys just are not that good. But they're few and far between. And unfortunately, when you do hear about some of the bad, it's like anything else, that always takes precedence over all the good. But we have some excellent police. I don't care if it's in Burley, Jerome, Twin Falls, excellent officers. But I'm telling you, to demonize the police today and basically handcuff them, that is a major crime, and we're all going to suffer for it. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting for your call that I certainly hope is coming in, don't forget our dear friends over at Streamline Precision. Oh, I'll tell you what, Tim Vaughn and the rest of the crew serving you. They can build anything. They can get her up. You betcha. Construction, excavation, and fabrication services. They're doing a lot of work right now on the farm grain bin storage, and they're authorized dealers in Sioux Cub, Chief Balin, and Nucor buildings. And right now, straight south of me, straight as an arrow, south of me, the brand new Funk Dairy. They're building that right here in Murtaugh. Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley. Number to call, 431-7314. Absolutely. And by the way, they've got the big equipment to handle all your dirt hauling needs, the big side dump trucks, and they've got all the rigs for hauling your big farm equipment from like Field A to Field B. All you have to do is call them and tell them what you need. Call Tim Vaughn, 431-7314. Really, really good guy. 431-7314. Streamline Precision, the professionals building for you. A Come on, callers. Get up off the couch and give me a call. What do you think about that professor, that dean of the University of District Columbia Law School, telling kids to go out and riot and be a protester? Wow. What do you think about this story? Here you go. Hillary, this is almost laughable. Come on. When I heard this story and I read about it, Deanne pulled off some stuff on the internet that was factual from some very, very legible and credible sources back in Washington. Hillary Clinton, the women in this country should be, and many, many are, embarrassed about having Hillary run for the presidency because of her lack of charisma and, quite frankly, her lack of common sense. Hillary Clinton, she of all people, was complaining yesterday about the law and police. She stood up at a podium yesterday and she was condemning law enforcement, saying that there needed to be drastic changes in law enforcement and that people were not respecting the law and the police were the main instigators of going above and beyond the law, etc. Wait a minute, Hillary! Stop the bus, Gus. Hillary wants to get off. Hillary Clinton with her husband Bill and all their crookedness and criminality in money schemes, money laundering, scandals, and outright blatant lies and deceit, and she, Hillary Clinton, complains about the law? That's laughable. That's laughable. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, give me a call. Love to hear from you. Hey, by the way, I got to get this in here, too. Mother's Day is just around the corner. Seriously. And I know a couple of great businesses that would like you. I'll be right there, caller. Don't go away. The Drift Inn, 545 F Street in Rupert. Oh, they've got specials for Mother's Day. Make your reservations for Mother's Day at the Drift Inn in Rupert, 436-1300. They're going to have specials on prime rib, finger steaks, butterfly shrimp, chicken, cordon bleu. And they're going to always serve you with the best of food from 11 to 3 on Mother's Day at the Drift Inn on the square in Rupert. And also Colonel Dale and the rest of the crew at the Book Plaza, 222 West 11th Street in Burley. All kinds of great gift-giving ideas for your mom. Something really special, like maybe the Precious Moments figurines and other figurines and a special new book, whatever. All the items you need are right there at the Book Plaza, 222 West 11th Street in Burley. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb.
Hello, Tony.
We are in trouble here. We've got the drug cartels, we've got the Muslim terrorists out of here, we've got the Bloods and the Crips involved in the rioting. And this woman is encouraging more rioting. How many states right now are having riots?
You know, this is really interesting. Philadelphia, San Diego, Denver, Colorado, New York City, they all had protests last night against the police. Everybody's mad at the cops. I'm not. You know something, Tony? I think being a policeman has got to be one of the hardest, toughest, most degrading jobs today to ever be a part of, because they've got public sentiment against them from the get-go, and I absolutely have sympathy and empathy for our police force.
Well, my son-in-law's a cop, and their hands are tied, believe me, and it is frustrating. They try to go out and do their jobs, the next thing you know, you've got liberal judges up there that are turning these guys loose. And they still have to do their job, regardless of how tough it is.
I'll go one other step on that. And yes, I'm prejudiced when I say this, and if anybody doesn't like it, I really don't care. Along with the police, another group of people that lay their lives on the line, and I don't think they're ever thanked enough for what they do, because they're putting themselves in harm's way, not only fighting the fires, but also trying to fight the doggone stupid people, and that's firemen. And my son is a fireman, and I go to bed every night and pray for his safety.
Well, I served on a fire department when I was back in New York for a while, and I know exactly what they're going through. We had to have police escorts every time he went to a fire.
Yeah.
So I'm in total sympathy with him.
But how could, Tony, really, how could this woman, the dean of the law school, come out with such an absolutely, this is beyond the pale. She should lose her job for encouraging students for extra credit to go and be protesters. That is unfathomable to me.
Well, as long as we've got a jackass like the one we've got up there in the White House running things, we're going to have this problem.
Yeah.
You can't do anything with these people that are encouraging civil unrest, because the one up there in the White House won't do anything about it. They won't put a stop to it.
Isn't it absolutely...
This country is under siege right now.
I agree with you. And the naive attitude of Americans, I had a lady here last week or the week before call me up and say, "Oh, come on, Zeb, things aren't that bad, are they?" And I said, "Lady, they're worse than you think, because you're naive into thinking that everything is on the yellow brick road to the road of Oz. This is absolutely going to be the downfall of America if we don't start cleaning things up now."
You're right, Zeb.
All right,
what do we do about it? Look what he's putting up there in his administration. We've got Lynch and we've got Rice, and they're just as bad as Obama.
Yeah, and here's another thing, and this is speculation on my part, but the mayor of Baltimore is absolutely Stephanie Rawlings Blake. Little bits and pieces came out yesterday, Tony, that maybe she said, and they're working on verifying this statement, let them loot. It's only property. If this woman, the mayor of Baltimore, said something that stupid, that was that destructive for all these people that lost their life savings, they lost their way of making an income, they lost their future, this woman should be ridden out of town on a rail.
Well, if those police didn't have those plastic shields in front of them with these guys throwing rocks at them, there would have been a heck of a lot more injuries.
Yeah. I wish America would wake up and look at the low class, and I want to underline that word and put it in capital letters, both words, low class representatives we have in government today that are leading us down a path to destruction.
Well, like I said before, we need to send a truckload of X-Lax up there to Washington and flush them out.
For some reason, Tony, I don't want the graphic picture in my mind of what you just said. Thank you so much.
I got the message.
Bye. That was more to ponder than I wanted to ponder. Anyway, it's time for the weather real quick. Give us a call. Tony. The weather brought to you this hour. It's a good thing. Never mind. Ramsey Heating and Electric offering rebates on qualified Lennox home comfort systems. Whether it's a gas furnace, an air conditioner, or heat pump, your family will enjoy the comfort. All you have to do is call Ramsey Heating and Electric at 678-0459. Caller, do not go away. I'll be right there in about 30 seconds. Here's the weather with Michael Rogers Weather.
Hello, everyone. Michael Rogers is Zeb at the ranch. Yeah, another nice day. 70s. I'm real big on sunny 70s bye. I mean, if you want to get a whole explanation on how it's going to be sunny 70, you can watch Cantori on the Weather Channel. You can watch KMVT. With me, it's real simple. It's going to be sunny. High today is 70, and enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Brought to you by Lennox Home Comfort Systems and Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Well, I tell you something rotten. I'm upset. I'm mad because I don't think people listen. I don't think they care. I don't think they want to get on the bandwagon and do anything. We've got a mess that's trying to take us into a deeper mess.
Well, it's more than a mess. But what I called for, I personally think any judge, before he can be appointed a judge, should serve 2 or 3 years on a police force.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. I kind of like that idea. I mean, make it mandatory that they see how the law is applied at the grassroots and ground level, and then go on to be a judge. You know something rotten? You are a man that absolutely is thinking. Thank you.
Okay.
God bless you. I like that thought. I mean, yeah, they have to be cops at least for a year or 2 years to learn how the law is applied and learn what the laws are and how they're applicable to people on the streets. Not a bad thought, my friend. Not a bad thought. But then we have the black mayor of Baltimore. I'm beginning to think that this woman, you know, when you look at her face and the way she has her hair styled so that it swoops, is that a fair word? Swoops down on the other side of her left eye, and she looks like she only has one eye. And then she says something so dumb, we're going to give them room to destroy. And now the comments are coming out from some very, very, I would say, bona fide centers and sources that she said, let them loot. It's only property. This woman is in trouble. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Zeb. You know, I feel this deal that's going on back in Boston is nothing more than a media issue.
Oh, wait a minute, Jerry. It's not Jerry, just a minute. It's not Boston. It's Baltimore.
Okay, Baltimore. I'm sorry. I'm short-brained some mornings. I feel it's more of a media issue than it is a race issue.
Why?
Well, because African Americans killed by police is 233, white people is 414, Hispanic is 138, Asian is 15, unreported race 311.
Okay.
It's a media issue.
I think
it's put up, it's fed. I think they're covering up stuff for Obama.
Okay.
That he's doing.
Okay.
We're doing a media issue. We're going to have days and days and days like the door when the Prince was there. All we've seen on the news for weeks, or a week, was the door of the castle or whatever in the heck it was. It's just another media issue out there. And you know, I'm so tired of the media trumping up stuff and blocking the news. All you hear is one thing. Not who stubbed their toe in Rupert, Idaho, or who fell off the ladder in New York City. It's just a trumped-up, cover-up thing.
Wait a minute, Jerry, don't keep rambling. I want to ask some questions. Hold on a second. So you're saying that you're against the media covering this story in Baltimore? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not against them covering the story. I'm against them making it the only issue out there.
Wait a minute. Whoa, stop the bus for a second. When you have a story that could go absolutely more ballistic and hurt more people, you're saying that there should be just maybe 3 or 4 minutes on the news, riots in Baltimore, burnings in Baltimore, and racial tensions in Baltimore, that doesn't cover more airtime?
I don't think it covers all the airtime. That's basically all we're seeing. Any news media we're going to. Everywhere around here, anyhow.
All right. Oh, wait a minute.
I would like the news put out every day. It's fine to report that. I'm not opposed to that. I'm just tired of the total cover-up they do when something like this comes along.
Well, when you say cover-up, though, Jerry, stop just a second. You're going on again. I got to ask you a question. What kind of cover-up are you talking about?
I don't know. You know, they're doing stuff under the table all the time.
Who is doing stuff under the table?
Our president, our leader.
What has that got to do with the media covering up?
Well, they're covering up for them, I feel.
All the media. You can't say that, though, Jerry. All the media is not covering up. All the reporters are not covering up.
Everywhere we go, that's all we see is this deal. I'm just tired of it.
Yeah, but I don't get where you're saying there's a cover-up. I think right now there's a great exposing of what's going on that the people need to know.
What's going on back there, you got a few stupid people that are breaking the law.
A few?
All they are lawbreakers. They're crooks. They're people that are taking advantage of a situation and doing what they want, stealing what they want, hurting what they want, hurting the businesses they want to destroy. And it's a one-person, in each case, thing that's going on. And they're being fed by a group that's leading them down this path. And I don't agree with it.
Yeah, but Jerry, when you look at the overall severity and seriousness of what's going on here, with race tensions in this country that have been, I think, brought to a fever pitch, no thanks to Obama. I think he has created most of the trouble, along with Al Sharpton's and others of their ilk. And last night, there were protests all across this country, Philadelphia, San Diego, Denver, etc. This is a story that needs to be covered because this administration that in 2008 said they were going to do more to bring everybody together, they have divided the country worse than ever before, and it needs to be covered because this is a tinderbox ready to explode.
I'm not arguing that we need to cover it. We just don't need to make it the only issue.
All right, Jerry, I appreciate your opinion. I appreciate your opinion. Thank you again for calling, my dear friend. God bless.
You bet.
All right.
Have a good day.
Thank you. We'll talk about that in a minute. Jerry has some good points. I want to talk about those. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Now, there are some really good people, and they know all about how to help you get back to being you. I mean, there's nothing worse than hurting. There's nothing worse than saying, gee, I used to do this, but I can't anymore because I had this surgery and my muscles and my aches and my pains. Hey, get a hold of Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, and they can help you with all the great mixes of exercises, sports medicine, the hydrotherapy pool, everything. And the staff absolutely is so good. Absolutely. Call 678-1191, 678-1191, and make an appointment today at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation in Burley. Really good folks. You know, there may be some facts and some truth to the fact of what Jerry said about that seems to be the only story on the news at times. And maybe the networks need to give maybe an allocation of time and make sure everything else is covered. I can't argue that point because there's a lot of other things that are going on that all of a sudden are going to jump up and bite us, like maybe the so-called Iranian nuclear treaty that the wonderful, illustrious, and boy, I don't like him at all, John Kerry's in charge of. But when you have a situation in this country right now, and we do, I have traveled all over this United States, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I have been in every major city. And I can tell you that the race relations, because of what's going on with this lack of leadership today, and the people that are trying to stir up the embers into a big fire, like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and others, race relations, race relations in this country right now, I think are at a point where they can all of a sudden explode. Everything can just go bam, it's over, and we've got a wreck on our hands. And this president, I'm pointing my finger at Obama right now. This president has done nothing. This president has not been a leader. This president hasn't done anything to quell these emotions and put out these fires of hatred. Nor has any of his staff. Nothing. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Great big spring tire sale going on at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh, convenient credit. Yes, they do, for tires and services. Yep, Les Schwab credit is quick and takes only minutes to apply for. And you stop in today and check out this great big spring tire sale. Along with all the tires that are on sale. Don't forget, too, the best in brake service. I mean the best in brake service. Front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, it's all there. You stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, John on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. Caller, I got 1 minute left. Go.
I just wanted to say that, I disagree with trying to limit the coverage on what's going on back there, because it's my generation, mid-30s, that's going to have to take over this mess that we got going. And hopefully, people seeing the mess that our country's in will spark a fire in them to change it. Because think back in the 90s when everything was going on, Iraq, Iran, we were watching that, and it wasn't on our soil.
But people
also... Our soil now, it's in our backyard.
That's exactly right. And people need to know the likes of that college professor saying that her students should go protest. People need to know about this low-life Baltimore mayor that said, oh, well, let them loot, it's only property. People need to know these kind of things so they can make changes, get rid of those politicians, and never let them see anything of politics in the future.
Absolutely. I say show it every day, and maybe somewhere, someplace, everything starts small and grows bigger.
That's right.
That the mid-30s and our younger generation, this is what we have to inherit from our forefathers that are laying out what's in front of us now.
I could not have said it better.
Got to start.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Thank you for your call. Have a great day.
You too, Zip.
Thank you. I like that. That's right. We need to know, and then we need to be active. We're going to take a little break for about 6 minutes. We're going to listen to CBS News. They're going to mess up everything we did for this first hour, and we'll be back in about 6 minutes. Thank you very much. Welcome back, Zeb at the Ranch. And our thanks last hour to all of our callers. And Jerry and everybody else, thank you very much. Tony, I appreciate it. Hey, welcome back, Zeb at the Ranch, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, serving you. And, of course, some of our great advertisers, which include Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and Valley Wine Home and Ranch. You betcha. 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything, I mean everything, for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valleywide Home and Ranch. We're going to have our next guest with us in just a moment. Don't forget, too, Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert with our dear friend Joel Heward and his staff and family. Always, and this is really important, with flexible hours. Flexible hours, they are there when you need them and giving you family attention. They can travel to rural towns and churches and help you, the family, with all the arrangements when there's the passing of a loved one. Always, and I stress this, always with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. They are so good in working and serving you. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Number to call, 436-5636. That number again, 436-5636, Hanson Mortuary. Hey, our thanks go out again every morning when we start this program. Right after the Pledge of Allegiance, we have, of course, our weather forecast with MichaelRogersWeather.com, and it's brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Wonderful people. I mean, I just really enjoy these folks. The best of carpet and flooring, kitchen construction, home decor, whatever you need to make your house a home. Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley, 678-6945. Look for the blue door. Really good folks. Well, lo and behold, here she is, back from the seminar last week. This is the lovely Kay Cameron at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great, and you?
Not too bad. It's nice. I opened the window up in my office here, and it's nice and cool with a little breeze coming through. How was the ladies' seminar?
It was great, actually. We had a lot of people in attendance. We had fabulous participation and fabulous speakers. and it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
It was really great.
Well, it was, you put a lot of time and effort into that along with a lot of other folks, and I'm glad it was so beneficial, and I suppose you're planning on 2016, right?
Oh, yeah, we've already talked about our dates for next year, so always rolling ahead for something new to work towards.
Okay, now, Kay, that's done, and we're looking at already tomorrow's going to be the 1st of May. What else is cooking?
Oh, my goodness, May is such a busy time of year. Not just, there's community events, but there's just so many things going on with all of our youth here in our community. And we're so fortunate that we've got so many great activities going on and a lot of things for people to participate and watch. But there's going to be all kinds of singing programs and track meets and golf, you know, the high school golf tournaments and the tennis and the softball and the baseball. And so all of the high school sports and the youth of the students all go on field trips this time of year. And I know parents are super busy. It's super exciting. Everybody's gearing up and excited for summer.
You know, Kay, I would imagine, and tell me if I'm wrong on this, but I would imagine when the calendar goes to May 1st, you and the rest of the folks over at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce probably start to see a decided increase in travelers and tourists, right?
We do, but, you know, that really starts to happen for us about spring break time. You know, we see a real influx at spring break, and then it kind of tapers off a little bit, but, you know, the weather starts to get good, and it's nice outside, so we really start seeing those people continue to come in. So, May is always busy. June is even busier. July is even busier. It's great.
You know, and what's really hard to understand is that with tomorrow being May 1st, do you realize that we are less than only 3 months away from the fair season?
I know. It really does just come so fast. Summer just seems to fly by. In fact, there's a great ad campaign out this year for the Idaho Department of Tourism, you know, trying to market our state and attract visitors to come to Idaho. And it's called 18 Summers. And for those of you that are parents and have kids at home, the basis behind it is that you only have 18 summers at home with your children. So you need to get out and enjoy every summer that you have, because you only have 18 of them while they are kids.
You know, that really got to me. You mentioned that one other time on this program, and boy, I tell you what, it brought a tear to my eye, because people don't realize, you know, they'll say, oh, I got to haul the kids to the soccer game, or I got to go to a Little League baseball game, or I got to take them to swimming lessons, and then all of a sudden, when it's over, there is a void right there.
Exactly, and so it goes by fast, and they've got some great little videos out that are advertising our state. We really have a beautiful state and a lot of great things to do. But one thing that is on their tagline of one of their videos, their promo videos this summer, is that it says, and I'm trying to think if I remember this correctly, but it says, summer isn't the only thing that goes by fast, because those kids grow up so fast. My kids are just growing so fast right before my eyes, and I just think, oh my gosh, you know, I've got to enjoy every minute with them and take them to experience fun things and take them fun places. You know, we spent a day at the City of Rocks during spring break, and I'll tell you what, we had the best time ever. It didn't cost us anything to go there. But the memories we made were spectacular.
Absolutely. Well, there's a lot of memories that can be made, and maybe a lot of people don't realize those memories are right here in Magic Valley, with all the different things to see, all the different points of interest and historical areas, and all that information can be obtained from the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, right?
Absolutely. If you have questions on things to do or see, come by and see us. We have lots of brochures, lots of information. We can give you directions and tips and hints and pointers and all that good stuff. So come by and see us or give us a call.
All right. Tell them all the 97 ways they can contact you.
Okay. Come by and see us at 1177 7th Street in Hayburn. Call us at 208-679-4793. Find us online at minicassiachamber.com. like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and connect in LinkedIn.
You do. You're good at that. I'll tell you what. You're really, really good. Kay Cameron, Director of the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
God bless. Nice lady right there. Kay Cameron, thank you very much. Hey, I know some other really nice folks, and they are dedicated to serving you, and they really know how to run their business, so it helps you with yours, and that's Streamline Precision. 120 South, 100 West of Burley, right next to Dot Foods, and please call Tim Vaughn. As I said, Tim came by and introduced himself here a couple of days ago, and nice guy. And the number to call Tim for estimates on what you need built and constructed, 431-7314. Let me repeat that number again, 431-7314. Absolutely. Streamline Precision is a family of companies providing construction, excavation, and fabrication services, and right now they are putting up a bunch of on-farm grain bin storage, you bet, because they're an authorized dealer in Sioux Cup, Chief Balin, and Nucor buildings. And if you didn't know it, you should. They're building that brand new Funk Dairy just straight south of me right here in Murtaugh. They know what they do. You better believe it. Call for estimates today on what you need built, and that's 431-7314. Tim Vaughn at Streamline Precision, the precision and professional people working for you. Really good folks. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Well, I have just a quick moment here. Mother's Day is coming up on May 10th. And, boy, I tell you what, it always makes me a little bit sad that I didn't have chances as much as I wanted to in my mother's later years to try to get back and spend more time with her. And if your mom lives right here in this area, you'd better pay attention. Here's some ideas for your mom. The Goodie Shop, 133 West Main in Burley, and you can treat your mom to a goodie basket. Oh, I'm telling you, you can build your own or select one that's already done, and they've got the special Mother's Day mugs that are filled with candy kisses and brownie treats and everything. Oh, I'm telling you, these people are so nice. The Goodie Shop at 133 West Main in Burley. Here's the number to call, 647-0106. And hey, maybe mom wants some special projects done around the property. Maybe she's got some ideas on maybe enhancing the flower beds or whatever. I know a place to get all the equipment. K&R Rental. Husbands, listen now. Your wife and the mother of your kids probably wants this done. Call K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 West of Hayburn. Number 678-3122. They've got all the tools you need to get your property ship-shape for the summer, and everything that you need is right there at K&R Rentals in Hayburn, 678-3122, and they wish you and yours a very happy Mother's Day. Okay. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. How do you feel about the mayor of Baltimore? I can't imagine why the general American public is just not demanding her firing, not demanding that she be released, not demanding that she never ever be the mayor another day in Baltimore. Because if they prove true, these allegations that Stephanie Rawlings Blake, the Baltimore mayor, ordered police to allow rioters to loot stores and burn stores, and a comment that she made to a city councilman that was, quote, "Let them loot. It's only property." Oh my. There should be a public outcry and, like I said, a demanding that woman, Stephanie Rawlings Blake, be fired somehow immediately. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to remind you again, the National Pioneer Hall of Fame is going to present Pioneer Farm Days Friday, May 8th and Saturday, May 9th out at Declo at Ray Bagby's. Ray, I'm coming this year, I promise. I am. I'm going to be over there. Going to bring my wife. Free to the public, fun for the whole family. Rides in covered wagons, and they've got 6 Pioneer buildings to view and experience, and Dutch oven cooking, served from 11 to 3. Ho, ho, ho. For more information, call 431-4661. 431-4661. The Pioneer Farm Days on May 8th and 9th. Oh, and I got this note from Brittany Mon. Minidoka County will be having their annual Boat Inspection Day on Saturday, May 16th from 8 to 5. This will be held at Lake Walcott, and admission to the park is free, and deputies will be on hand for boat safety and boat inspections and see if you got any holes in the bottom of your boat and whether it'll float. So take it over there and get that taken care of. Also, real quick, I want to remind you, too, about our friends at Let's Ride. Hello, Nick. Hello, crew. I'm telling you, when you walk in the front door of Let's Ride, I mean, it is quite a shock, because you just kind of stop after you go in the front door and just stop and stare. Go to the left, go to the right, look down the middle. All you see are vehicles that you can have fun on. That's right, all the ATVs. Oh, my goodness. A plethora of ATVs. You better believe it. Let's Ride, Highway 24 between Rupert and Hayburn. My goodness, they're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. And along with all the ATVs, they've got a great accessory department, and they've got a wonderful service shop to take care of getting your existing ATVs all ready to go up in the hills. Yep, where the fun is sold. Let's Ride. Highway 24 between Rupert and Hayburn. You stop in and see those good folks today. Let's Ride. We haven't taken a long ride yet this spring. Deanna and I, we've taken some little mini rides, but we're looking forward to getting out maybe this weekend and enjoying the great outdoors. And by the way, too, while you're over on Highway 24, you want to be sure and stop in and see my friends at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Dean Cameron, Todd Siemens, and Highway 24 in Rupert. Number to call, 436-4424. For all your life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, they can and will help you. Please make sure you're protected. Get a hold of Cameron and Siemens Insurance today, 436-4424. Oh, my. Let's see, what else have we got coming up here. At 10, what have I got at 10:30? We're going to 9:30, I should say. We've got Rita Ramsey, and we're going to be discussing all that's going on the political scene, so don't forget that. Right now, I want to know where all these doggone dogs came from anywhere. Who let these dogs out anyway? My goodness sakes, we got dogs all over the place. A dachshund, and we got a beagle, and we got a Rottweiler, and right behind the Rottweiler on a very long leash, we have Mr. Ken Mort, the head of Minidoka Animal Control.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
It's not Mr. What is your official title? Sergeant, Colonel, General, what?
Just Officer Mort.
Officer Mort.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Officer Mort, what is going on in the world of canines?
Well, we just want to reiterate to everybody that it is getting warm outside and stuff and that. Make sure you guys are keeping a close eye on your dogs and stuff. Make sure they're being contained. We've actually been stuff and that are kind of working with Cal Ranch today. I'm going to be taking a few dogs over there because they are today over there at Cal Ranch. They're doing an Adopt a Shelter Dog Day.
Oh, really?
Yes, and they've got a thing set up to where if you adopt a shelter dog, they actually gave me some certificates. They are giving away for each dog adopted from the facility, a 4-pound bag of loyal dog food and a certificate for 10% off a regularly marked price pet item.
Wow. Okay, well, see, they're helping you. Now, have you got a lot of dogs to take care of?
Actually, right now I don't have anything that's available till tomorrow. Annette. I've got 5 of them that'll be available tomorrow for adoption that I picked up several days ago, and we are going to. I'm going to actually take them over, put them on display so that they can anybody that's interested can say, okay, yeah, I'm interested in this one. I want to adopt this one, and I will be in tomorrow to take care of the adoption.
How long do you have to wait before they're ready for adoption?
Normally, according to the policy that we have that's in black and white that was put out by our Animal Control Board, that we are to hold them for 3 working days.
I see.
But what we try to do is we try to hold them for at least 5, because you never know and stuff, and that somebody may not realize soon enough, or might have been gone for a few days and just get back. So we try to give that extra couple of days, but we normally hold them for 5 days on that before we actually put them up for adoption.
I see. And during that interim of time, what information do you try to find out about the dogs?
Well, we try to find out exactly how they are with other dogs. We try to get a good feel for their mentality, how they are with people, and how good they are on leashes.
And if they hate cats, that's a plus.
In some cases, in other cases and stuff, and that people want them that are friendly with cats, because they do have cats too, because they're cat lovers.
Yeah, but you need to have a dog that enjoys exercise, and when a dog is running at full tilt chasing a cat, that is a great way to stimulate the exercise program for the day.
That is true. I mean, I actually took one on it last week over to be tested on cats to find out how it was with cats, and all he wanted to do was play with the cats and bounce around. So he was getting exercise that way and playing, but wasn't trying to attack them or anything. So they can still get exercise if they're good with cats if the cats are willing to play with them.
Who do you have hired at Minidoka Animal Control that is the official cat holder while this exercise is being performed?
Actually, we don't actually have anybody hired to do that. I've got a vet that has several office cats. And I just make contact with them, say, hey, I got a couple of dogs that I need to bring over, find out how they do with cats. I show up, I take one in, and they go grab 2 or 3 of the cats that they've got that run around in the office area, bring them out, turn them loose. I keep the dog on a leash, and we see how they react.
How often do they have to refurbish the office?
They haven't had to yet.
Okay. So what else have you got cooking for me today? No horses or anything?
No horses. I am still looking for people who are wanting to help with donating or sponsoring a kennel for our new location that we're trying to get taken care of, because we've basically got everything ready to go over there other than our kennels. And I was actually approached this morning by a gentleman who is going to get in contact with me because he's wanting to check and see where their business is financially on it, and said that he at least wants to sponsor one, and he maybe do 2 if he can do it. But I've also got stuff in with other organizations that are going to go in front of their donation and sponsorship boards that they convene each month, that are looking at trying to be able to get something passed to help us out so that we can get into this new facility.
Okay. I was going to mention, Ken, and I'm very, very serious about this because, boy, it's sad. In the last week of running all over the valley and trying to go to meetings and trying to go here, there, and everywhere, it would appear that I think Deanna and I have seen probably no less than 3 or 4 dogs in certain instances way out in the middle of nowhere that basically are just sitting by the road. Honestly, I think they're telegraphing that they're looking for their owner to come back and get them. And I don't think there's anything sadder, and there's nothing that makes me madder than to think dog owners are that cruel.
I find that a lot myself. I get a lot of calls from farmers out in the county area that have also all of a sudden had a dog that has showed up to their place.
Yeah.
And they've checked with all their neighbors and everything, and none of their neighbors and stuff and that own the dog.
Nope.
And basically they've come to the conclusion, and we've come to the conclusion, that somebody's just taken it out there, dumped it, hoping that one of these farmers out there would take it. But a lot of these farmers, they've already got the number of dogs that they are wanting or can take care of on that because of their time constraints with planting season and taking care of the farm and all that. But it's better off if they take the animal into their local animal shelter or pound and try to give that dog a fighting chance, because there's been instances where I've went out to pick up a dog, and because I was not its owner, it did not know me, and it took me hour or two to try to get this dog cornered to where I can actually get it caught. Or I've had to take out live traps and place food inside of them and everything, like your live coyote traps and stuff like that, and catch these dogs because I can't get close enough to them, and they're just scared. But once I get them in the facility, they see that we're not going to abandon them or we're not going to hurt them or anything, and that they're just great, loving pets. So please, and that if you've got an unwanted pet, contact your local animal shelter or pound and try to do the best you can and stuff, and that of getting this dog a loving home. And I had a lady call me the other day who surrendered a purebred Shar-Pei that she wasn't able to take care of because it was just too hyper for her kids, because she'd taken custody of 3 little kids, and it was just too much for her to be able to handle. She got in contact with me. I went and picked the dog up. I had that dog adopted the very next day.
Oh, my goodness. Ken, I absolutely support everything you're doing with Minidoka Animal Control. Officer Mort, thank you, my dear friend. God bless you, and have a wonderful weekend.
And God bless you too, Zeb.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one. Who let all these dogs out anyway? Oh, my. Officer Ken Mort and Minidoka Animal Control. I tell you, Ken's doing a great job. Hey, I know there's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night. Oh, it's going to be at Duck Uglies, 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. Oh, my goodness, don't miss it. Jack Bates, new owner-manager, is going to have a grand reopening tomorrow night starting at 5 o'clock. Music with the best. Ned Carter, love his music. And then Barton and Bowler, love their music. And they're going to have a roast pig with all the trimmings, $10 per plate, and with that $10 you get, of course, raffle tickets. You might win a flat screen TV. Oh my, it's going to be great. Great food, great people, great service at Duck Uglies, 163 Highway 30 Burley. And don't forget, we'll be over there tomorrow night, on Friday, May 1st, for the grand reopening. It's going to be fantastic. Don't forget, too, your friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric, and they're offering rebates on qualified Lennox home comfort systems. Yes, they are. Gas furnaces, air conditioners, heat pumps, all of this and much, much more at Ramsey Heating and Electric. Call and save money at 678-0459. Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Hello, Rita Ramsey. How are you?
Good morning. I'm real good.
Rita, I don't even know where to start this morning. I've got a list of at least 20 to 30 different topics we could talk about in the news, but I guess it would be, I would be amiss if I didn't ask you your opinion from the female angle of this mayor of Baltimore. How could the voters have put in someone that is this dumb?
It's beyond my imagination, actually. I think that those people in Baltimore ought to really look at this and start a recall. That the only way that they're going to get her removed is if the voters themselves do it. They need a recall. I would be surprised if there aren't numbers upon numbers of lawsuits against the city because of what she said. To just let them have their space, let them have their right to express their opinion, and then let them have the right to protest and give them room, and the police department will stand down while all this happens.
You know, Rita, it's really dangerous what could have happened, even more so than what did happen, because this mayor basically telling the police to stand down and show complete restraint. Someone could have got killed. Someone could have been run over with those cars that were just zipping in circles in the intersection going through the fires, and all the looting and everything. You can't blame, Rita, and picture your business location. If it was in the middle of a looting section of town where they were burning and destroying things, you certainly as a business owner have every right to protect your property. It's amazing somebody wasn't shot for breaking the windows and crawling inside. This mayor could have instigated all that.
Well, they could have, and one of the big problems that happened, and I don't know exactly when it happened, but it's probably happened in the last 20 years, is they made it so that they can't have guns.
Yeah.
In town, and that's the biggest problem, because if there were going to be some issues around Burley, the first thing that we'd be doing is coming to our business with lots of plywood so we could cover our windows and any of the glass, and then stay here with guns.
Yeah. Or
we can have guns, but when you take guns away from people, you make them so that they have no protection, and this kind of stuff can happen, and it gets way out of hand, way too fast. And what about all those poor people that have lost their businesses? They said there was like 100 to 150 businesses that had been damaged or destroyed.
You can't rebuild. You can't put things back the way they were yesterday and intend to go on with business again tomorrow. And for this mayor, and the comment now that they're checking on to make sure it's verifiable, and she did say it, she also said, let them loot. It's only property. If I were a business owner, I would do everything I could 24/7 until this woman is run out of office.
Well, I'll tell you what will happen. If those people whose businesses were damaged or destroyed actually have insurance, the insurance companies will go after the city.
Yeah.
And they have big enough lawyers that they can do that. Individuals sometimes can't fight City Hall. But you get some of these big companies and they'll say, hey, we've got it right here on tape, her saying go ahead and let them do it. So now you're responsible for it, and the city's going to be liable for a lot of this, and the city doesn't have the money. But they need to be recalling that mayor. There's a lot of people said, well, the governor should have stepped in earlier. Well, I can bet you money that the governor was on the phone with her the first few days prior to that happening.
Absolutely.
And she said no, kind of like Ray Nagin when he decided he didn't want the... or not Ray Nagin, but in Louisiana when they had the hurricane, and the governor the president kept calling the governor and saying, "Hey, can we come down and help you? We can bring stuff in." No, we're going to kind of we'll see what happens, and she wanted to be in charge of all of it instead of letting somebody come in and help them get started with the rescue and everything, and they wouldn't do it. Some of these ladies, when they become mayor, it's like, I'm in charge and don't you forget it, and they're not about to be humble enough to say, you know what, we're going to need some help here, so let's have a plan forward. I heard some guys talking on XM radio late last night as I was driving home from Rexburg, and they were talking about, the day that happened and that kid was put into jail and they found out that he had died, they should have said, okay, we have planned for times like this. This is what our plan is. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to keep it from escalating. And they should have had a plan in place. Obviously, they didn't have a plan in place, or they did, and she threw it out the window. But it kind of looks to me like they just didn't do anything, and she wouldn't take any help until it was out of control, and she let everybody else know that she was in control.
And I know that a lot of people will say, oh, wait a minute, Zeb, the severity of this situation with the possible loss of property and what could have been also human lives lost, how can you dare tie a baseball game into this deal at Baltimore? But you know something, Rita? That was a very important piece of the puzzle back in Baltimore. Camden Yards, the home of the Baltimore Orioles, they were told yesterday that they could go ahead and have a game with the Chicago White Sox, but the mayor and the powers that be said no fans will be allowed. No fans will be allowed. Rita, not only did they destroy income, great amounts of income coming into the city for 35,000 fans that had tickets, but also they cost the concessionaires all the money, they cost the networks the money, they cost all kinds of people money, and basically by closing down the stadium and letting the game go on but no fans, they capitulated to the bad guys and said, well, basically we're scared of you, we're not going to have a game.
Well, and now haven't they moved their next 3 games that they were supposed to be there down to Florida or someplace?
I think this is wrong.
One game.
Yeah, I think they should have had the game. I think they should have had the National Guard standing outside. I think they should have done everything to protect the fans, but go on with the game, because when you capitulate to an element in our society that is of sleaze and of destroying things, you've lost forever.
Well, that's right, and it just goes to show that when you have democratic rule for 40 or 50 years, your society declines because those people start thinking that it's more important for somebody to have control than to let the free market just do its thing, let people have their freedom and liberty, and let life go on. They've done such a disjustice. You know, we've spent trillions of dollars since President Johnson decided that we would have our great society. Well, look what we've got out of our great society. Yeah. Trillions of dollars later, and twice as much poverty, and it's totally out of control, and people are afraid to try to get it into control.
Rita, I know that you being the news person that you are, you probably heard this, but I jumped right out of my lazy boy last night. I was so upset when I heard that the dean of the University of District Columbia Law School, this woman, issued a statement to the students in her law class that for extra credit, they could go up to Baltimore and be a part and participate in the protests, and they would get extra class credit.
People like her need to be fired, but that's the big problem with the universities is we've got all of these people who were, when I was a teenager, they were hippies, and now they're professors in prestigious law or prestigious colleges and universities, and they're teaching our kids the kind of things that they did when they were teenagers instead of saying, you know, the stuff that we done back then was so stupid. We protested and we did damage and we did all kinds of things. We have no business doing that. We can see that that was stupid, but boy, they've just carried on their same ways, and they're just plain old hippies from the word go, and it's me, and I'm against anything that's civil.
I wanted to ask you a little bit, and this kind of dovetails into Hillary. You probably heard me first hour. Yesterday, she was doing a speech and kind of a press seminar, and she made a statement during her little monologue that, when she gets to be president, she is going to absolutely look at what's going on with the state of law enforcement in this country and check out the police and hold them accountable for this, that, and the other. And it hit me right square in the face while she was saying this, that here is a woman that has blatantly broke the law. Her and her husband have been guilty of so many criminalities in their career from Arkansas, with all the money schemes and the scandals and the outright blatant lies and deceit. How dare this woman condemn our police forces?
Well, this is what politicians do, is they seize the moment. And so she is saying, okay, well, this is what we need to do because it kind of is relevant with what's going on in the country, and people are going, oh, yeah, she knows what's really going on. Actually, what this Baltimore thing is, it was an absolute gift to her because the news media has spent 24/7 for the last 5 days instead of pinpointing her and asking her questions about all the things they should be asking her about.
Actually, I shouldn't say this because you're going to think, and my audience is going to think, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and in some cases I am. But isn't it interesting that that new book called Clinton Cash, that was really laying things out as to how illegal and illicit Bill and Hillary Clinton have been with their foundation money, etc. The book and the coming out of the book and the author and everything else coincided with the riots and the protesters in Baltimore. It almost was uncanny how it stopped that book and all the interviews, and the press went 24/7 on this.
You're exactly right, and I've heard numbers of people say there's no such thing as coincidence, and so we know that this was just a diversion. It was bound to come up. If it wasn't this one, it would have been something else. The other thing is, and I've heard law enforcement officials say that, we've heard that Sheriff David Clark from Milwaukee on a lot of different news stations talking about what's going on there. And you know what? I'm right in his court. I know exactly what he's saying is true. This is the Obama administration's way, just a little bit further, to nationalize the police and sheriff's department.
Yes.
And it sounds like a conspiracy, but I know it's true. And if anybody has any questions about it, start asking your sheriff's departments and police departments how much federal money they're getting, how they're being pulled into all this federal stuff, so that the federal government actually owns these departments, and they'll all be on board, and then they can do whatever they want. This is their way of doing it, is having this kind of stuff happen where they have to get help from the federal government.
I agree. We have a caller with a question before I have the weather. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. My question is, it seems to me, whether I'm wrong or not, that more and more riots have happened more and more frequently over inner cities and in the needy part, or the low-income part, I guess you'd say, of the cities. And it doesn't seem like anybody wants to do anything about it, like the higher up, like the mayor and above, until the last, till it's too late. And the reason why I bring it up is it's kind of, to me, it kind of looks like that they're trying to find some kind of a reason to let things get so out of control that Obama can say, okay, enough's enough, martial law. And this is what's going to happen. And all them sheriff's departments that we've donated millions of dollars to for equipment and everything else, you will now belong to us because you owe us. That's kind of my thought. Am I too far off on that?
All right, I'll have her answer that on the air, but I want to tell you, caller, I think you've nailed down some important points that a lot of people are considering. Rita, what are your thoughts?
No, I'm absolutely in agreement with him. I've felt that way for a long time. You can't tell me that when the White House starts sending individuals to these funerals or to these areas, and just like they went over to Ferguson and the Justice Department, well, we're going to do investigations, and when they couldn't find what they were looking for, then they decided they would try to do something else. And well, maybe it wasn't them, it was one other thing. The federal government has absolutely no business of getting involved in this at all. The sheriffs, and this is the part that makes me really nervous, is do our local sheriffs, do sheriffs across the nation, there's a few who do, like that Sheriff David Clark and Joe Arpaio and a few others, know exactly what their role is. And they actually have more power over their county than the federal government does, but a lot of them have been abdicating that responsibility because they've been taking all the money, and it's like, well, they've just given over all of their rights and the rights of their counties to accept this money that they get, and pretty soon the federal government will own all the police and sheriff's departments. And I'm right on board that train. He's on board with me.
I agree.
There's tons of other people that are, too.
I agree. Rita, just stand by for 60 seconds. I've got the weather I've got to get on right now, and Mad River Laser is our sponsor of the weather. And Nicole has got a great idea for Mother's Day. Wooden spoons with a slogan on and also the family name. They are so neat to hang up in the kitchen, like Bless This Kitchen, with love and laughter, and then the name of the family. I'm telling you, this is a great gift-giving idea. Check out those wooden spoons at Mad River Laser, 502 East Street in Rupert. Nicole and Alex Pratt, they've got everything for all your business, promotional items, etc. Please stop in or give them a call at 436-2293. Right now, here's Michael Rogers' weather.
Hello, everyone. Michael Rogers is Zeb at the ranch. Yeah, another nice day, 70s. You know, I'm real big on sunny 70s bye. I mean, if you want to get a whole explanation on how it's going to be sunny 70s, you can watch Cantori on the Weather Channel. You can watch KMVT. With me, it's real simple. It's going to be sunny, high today at 70, and enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. And once again, this is a great idea. Wooden spoons for Mom's Day. And they're only $5 for heaven's sakes. Get in there and get them taken care of for Mother's Day at Mad River Laser, 502 East Street in Rupert. You know, Rita, the whole thing in the news is I had a caller that's a very dear friend of mine call last hour, and he's really upset because there's been so much coverage of this mess in Baltimore. But really, how do you not cover it when it could be one of the most volatile issues for the current time?
Well, I don't know. I think you do need to cover it. However, I have a different angle on it, and this is that if you didn't have news stations 24/7ing this all the time, maybe this kind of stuff wouldn't get so out of control.
That's a good point.
I just think that sometimes when all those people go in there and you've got wall-to-wall newspaper, or not newspaper, but TV and news reporters, doing all of this, it's kind of like, well, we've got to give them something to talk about, and so they just keep going. You know how people always hang around cameras. I want to get my face in that camera and this and that and the other. So I kind of think that doing the 24/7 maybe is doing a little, injustice to the rest of us, because I think they're just helping it to escalate. And then the other thing is I normally, when I go home at night or in the evenings when I'm here working, I will listen to the news stations and that. And because they were on 24/7 Baltimore, I watched some movies that I had DVR'd off of the Hallmark station all week. So I haven't been paying attention or even watching the normal channels that I watch because I'm just tired of it.
Rita, I've got to shift gears here a little bit. I want to end with this subject because it's very spooky to me. And in regards to Hillary Clinton running for the presidency, I had a guest on my program this week that really laid out chapter and verse from A to Z as to how maybe Hillary will fall through the cracks because of all the money schemes and the Clinton Foundation, etc. And very scarily and possibly John Kerry might emerge as the Democrats' number one choice. We'll take a call, and then I want you to respond to that. Caller, real fast. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I guess my question would be is what would be any assurance with a federal police force that misconduct, it's obvious misconduct by police officers would be any change, because they're, the police officers, no matter if it's county or state or federal, when they obviously overstep their bounds, what would make any difference under what department if they were under?
I'll let Rita answer this over the air, sir. Thank you very much for your call. Rita, quickly, please.
Well, I guess it tends to be whatever issue they're talking about, but anybody knows that when you do stuff locally, it is well taken care of by the local people and needs to be taken care of by the local people if they're awake enough to do something. But when you let the federal government come in and take over stuff, you have no control. They do what they want, and pretty soon you're bowing to them. That's the way it is with our schools. Our health care is that way, and they're looking to nationalize the police departments and sheriff's departments. And this cannot happen. The Constitution set it up so that everybody was local. There's nothing in the Constitution that says that the federal government ought to be the police department for the country.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, Rita. I mean, I do not want to look out there and see a kind of a lockstep Gestapo-type police force sent in for the feds, and we lose the local influence. Once you have that, you've reverted back 60 years to Nazi Germany. That's my opinion.
Well, that's why you have sheriffs who are elected by the voters, is so that they can change when they don't like one who's doing what's doing, saying, hey, we're going to get him out of here. But, a police chief isn't elected. He's appointed by a mayor.
That's right.
And so they kind of just get in the big, in the big mix of all of it. But it needs to be done local, and there needs to be accountability to the local people for the local needs, and that's how it needs to be solved.
All right, go back quickly. I've only got a couple of minutes left. I have heard from more than one source that John Kerry is like a vulture waiting in the wings, possibly to jump in and swoop upon the presidency for the Democratic nominee.
Well, I think there's always a possibility of it. However, I can't help but think about a picture that I have posted on my cash register out front here, and it's John Kerry, and he's got a slingshot, and he's got that slingshot aimed at himself because he's so smart. So
I've got the same one right here on my desk.
That's what I think of.
Oh, great minds running the same channels. I've got the same cartoon right here, the same depiction of John Kerry. But, this is really interesting because there are a lot of people. John LeBoutelier was on the radio the other day, and he's on the Political Insiders on Fox News on Sundays with Doug Schoen and Pat Goodell. And he made the statement also about John Kerry. And here we have a man that hated our United States military, a man that hated the Vietnam War, a man that hated our government, and now he's Secretary of State and possibly President? Oh, Rita.
Well, you know what? If he decides to do that, we invite the Swift Boat crew to come right back out into the open and start telling their stories again. It was not a lie. Those things happened. Everything that Kerry did was a lie. They need to show him saying how he cozied up with in favor of the enemies and everything else, and for him to lose once the way that he did, and with the hope that there are of the different people that are available on the Republican side, I think that he doesn't have a chance in heck. But.
All right, Rita, I've only got a minute left. Real fast. Tea Party, what's going on?
On the 14th of May, we're going to be having a meeting, and we're going to have a lady from the Patriot Academy to come and give a presentation, and we'd like to invite any youth, any people who have youth, to come and hear this presentation. It's excellent because what it is a workshop for kids to attend in June and learn about the Constitution and what the principles of a free society are, and where they derive their natural rights from, which is God and not government, and those kind of things are the things that our youth need to be learning about, and they're not getting it in school.
Amen. Rita Ramsey, God bless. Have a wonderful week.
Okay, you too. Thanks.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you so much. I appreciate it. Rita Ramsey, I always look forward to having her on the program with me on Thursdays. Thank you very much. Oh, I got to complain a little bit. I am so hungry. I'm starving to death. Yeah, that leads me right into some great places for you to go eat if you are hungry and starving to death. How about Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley? Oh, my goodness sakes, have you heard? Have you tasted? You'd better get in there and check out the breakfast burritos at Taco Bandito. Scrambled eggs, bacon and sausage, cheese, onions, tomatoes, special sauce on a tortilla shell. Oh, what a great way to start the day. And they've also got all the other goodies, the taco salad burrito, the Mexican pizzas, and the nacho burritos, and the chicken BLT burrito, all of this and much, much more at Taco Bandito in Burley. And then don't forget, too, our friends at Burgers Etc., 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 North Overland in Burley. Two great locations of Burgers Etc. And don't forget, after 3 p.m. in the afternoon, you can get hamburgers for only 99 cents. What? Yes, that's true. Only 99 cents after 3 p.m. And they've got delicious bacon burgers and cheeseburgers and onion rings and all kinds of delicious goodies. And especially on Sunday at the Burley location, a shrimp dinner special. It is good. Really nice people at Burgers Etc., 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 North Overland in Burley. Oh my, I'm drooling all over the desk. I'll tell you what, I'm so hungry, and right now I also want to remind you about our friends at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Hayburn. Food made the way you like it. Oh my goodness, they've got hand-patted hamburger patties made daily with love, and pork chops with salad and choice of potatoes, Steve's nacho fries topped with cheese, and jalapeno peppers. I love them. You stop in, really good, folks, and exceptionally great food at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Hayburn. Again, food made the way you like it. And last but not least, the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Oh my goodness, I've been telling you about that country fried steak on a bun. The country fried steak with a big bun and signature white sauce, lettuce and Swiss cheese. Oh, you're going to love it. And all the different milkshake flavors. You can make up your own. Well, I'll tell you what, all the fries and the Farmer Brown burgers, what are you waiting for? Get over there at 601 East Main in Burley, and that's the AC Drive-In. And those are just a few great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. And I am. We are going to take a little break. And we're going to listen to the CBS News, and then we're going to come back, and we've got on the program Cache County School Days, an interview with SafeLink Internet, all kinds of goodies, 10:30, Vicky's Country Garden. Don't go away, Zeb at the Ranch. I'll be right back. Holy cow, here we go, hour number 3 on a Thursday. Zeb at the Ranch, good morning with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers, including Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and our friends at Valley Wide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valley Wide Home and Ranch. Oh my, you know what? I want to tell you, what is the special today at the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley? Oh my, listen to this. Grilled balsamic chicken. That sounds good. Served over risotto. That's Italian creamy rice. I am starving. That sounds so good. With veggies and super salad. Oh my goodness. This and all the other great menu choices at the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. And don't forget, they've updated their menu. They should have them right there now. And they're also going to have a comedian night on Wednesdays at the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. You stop in and check out the great food today. Let's take a look here and move on down the list a little bit and say thank you again to Tim Vaughn and the crew and staff of Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley, next to Dot Foods. You know, you want to work with somebody that knows what they're doing. You want to work with somebody that can help you meet timelines, and that's Streamline Precision. Tim Vaughn and the rest of the crew at 431-7314. Call that number for estimates on what you need built on your property. Streamline Precision is a family of companies providing construction, excavation, and fabrication services, and they can put up all your on-the-farm grain storage. They are the authorized dealer in Sukup, Chief, Malin, and Nucor buildings, and I'll tell you, they've got all the big, heavy equipment, too. Equipment to handle all your dirt hauling with the big side dump trucks, and like they've got the big rigs for hauling your farm rigs from one field A to field B. They can do it. They can do the job for you. Please call them today. Tim Vaughn at 431-7314. Streamline Precision, the professionals building for you. Really good folks. Real quick note, once again, I'll say this before we go off the air this morning. Minidoka County is going to be having their annual boat inspection day. I've been asked to repeat that it's going to be on Saturday, May 16th from 8 to 5, and it's going to be held at Lake Walcott, and admission to the park is free. Deputies will be on hand for boat safety and boat inspections. Don't miss that. In just a few moments, we're going to get all set to go with our guest that we're going to have on Cassia County School Day, so stand by for that in about another minute. But before we do that, I want to remind you again about Lennox and Ramsey's. That's right. Whether it's a gas furnace or whether it's an air conditioner or a heat pump, Lennox Home Comfort Systems through our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric. Always there to serve you at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and they can save you money too. Don't forget, at Ramsey's, they sell warm winters and cool summers with Lennox. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get all set to go right now with our Cassia County School Days, and I'm very, very blessed to have this segment on my program sponsored by A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley and Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley. And right now at A Child's World, they've got everything for the babies and toddlers sale going on. They also have a baby registry, so come on in and set up a table. And if you're planning on having a baby shower, come on in and get the discount enclosure cards. I mean, everything for babies at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And also Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. And and taking care of all the carpal tunnel syndrome, and of course all the knee surgeries and the arthroscopic surgeries, sinus surgeries, you name it, and the colonoscopies, all this and more at Ambulatory Surgery Center. Call 677-8888. That number again, 677-8888. Locally owned by Joseph Peterson, MD. Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland in Burley. Let's go to the phone lines right now, and we have with us from Declo High School, the counselor at Declo High School, Brandy Kirkpatrick. Good morning, Brandy. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well.
Brandy, you got to help my old, feeble mind. You've been on the program before, haven't you?
I have not that I know of.
Oh, okay. Well, now we know that you have today. Brandy, there is a subject that we're going to be talking about this morning, and I want to warn the audience. It's a subject that a lot of people shy away from, but it is a subject that needs to be discussed because the severity and the seriousness of the subject of suicide. And you, on behalf of being a counselor at Declo High School, are trying to put together a community night to discuss this problem. Take it from there.
Okay. It just has been a concern with suicide in, predominantly Western states and stuff like that. And we've had a couple run-ins in our community, and we're just trying to do what we can here at the schools to help prevent it and to help those that are impacted by it bounce back. And we out here at Declo High School have been participating in a grant that Span Idaho and Idaho Lives have put out there, and it's called Sources of Strength, and it's about getting kids to connect and network with each other and kind of just be positive and connected, and to break down barriers between adults and kids so they know that they have people that they can trust, and that what they're going through, there's people out there that can help them and that do care about them.
All right, now, I want to jump in here, Brandy, and say that I think this is a very worthwhile project. And I was shocked to learn that there are more suicides in the Northwest than at any other region in the country. Why?
There are. When I sat in on the gatekeeper training that Span Idaho brought in, they talked about how we as Westerners are very rugged, individualistic people. We like to do it and do it ourselves, and we don't like asking for help. And it's okay to ask for help. These are things that everyone goes through, and we're just, from being little, raised to think that we got to do it on our own. And the reality of it is some things we just can't handle on our own.
I want to say, if you don't mind, Brandy, that I'm very familiar with this problem due to the fact that when I was in college, we had a young man that lived with us in our fraternity house that he always was a little bit standoffish, and he never really wanted to get involved in everything. And, kids are kids, whether they're high school or college. They're always, looking for the weak link in the chain, if you will. And we didn't really notice that Jim might have had these tendencies, and it was less than a week after the spring break that he left school and committed suicide. And it's always been a real sore spot in my heart for what happened, because I wished I could have done something to make him feel more inclusive.
Yeah, and that's one of the hardest parts with suicide and trying to help those who are struggling, is because we feel guilty because we're like, oh, I didn't see it coming, or I didn't know what was going on. And Sources of Strength here at Declo has helped kids see all these different areas in their life that they can go to for support. It focuses on their families, positive friends, having good mentors, doing healthy activities, looking outside yourself and being generous and doing service for others. For some, turning to spirituality, and then just being willing to look for the medical help that is out there for either medical problems or mental health concerns that you've got. And so it kind of creates this web of support that we're trying to show kids their strengths and areas that they may need to be a little bit more concerned about, in the sense of, hey, maybe I don't have the best friends going on here. Maybe I need to look for a more positive friendship group. And it's including everybody. We have peer leaders here at the school that are from diverse backgrounds. They come from all different walks of life. and we're getting them all together and creating this sense of we're all in this together and we're here to support each other, and it doesn't matter what our hobbies are or the sports that we're into or any of that, because we're here to keep each other safe.
Absolutely. Brandy, let me ask you this. This meeting and this seminar is going to be on May 8th at 6 p.m. at the Declo High School Library. Now, are you making this just for parents and high schoolers, or is it for basically families to come in and learn all about this?
Usually they focus mainly on parents. Some of the content can be a little overwhelming for the younger population just because it is looking at some numbers and some statistics and things. So it really is more geared towards the adults in a family, but all community members are welcome to come and listen to them. It will be done by SPAN Idaho and the Idaho Lives Project. They'll be the ones coming in and doing the presentation, and it is in combination with the Sources of Strength grant that we got out here at Declo. And we've done a gatekeeper training in at Burley. All the teachers and faculty have gone through it, and it's just letting them look at some of the information that, these are some things to look at, these are some things to be aware of, and what is actually being provided to help kiddos and even help community members, because everyone has access to the same kind of support.
Brandy, don't you think, though, and let's just kind of talk off the cuff about this a little bit, don't you think, though, that whether it's a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, that these youngsters need to be exposed as to what they can do to help their friends? Maybe they might notice something, maybe they might hear or say something. Don't you think kids should be aware, that key word, aware of what's going on?
I think that the kids are aware. I think that a lot of suicide prevention stuff looks at the negative, does look at the numbers, does look at that, and that's what they kind of use those scare tactics to get to kids, like, oh, don't do this because, this is what happens and these are all the negative impacts, but we're kind of taking a different spin on it out here. We want to be looking at the positive. We don't want kids to dwell on the death and the darkness of suicide. We want them to focus on the support and the encouragement and, overcoming things. I mean, kids know about suicide. They know about the numbers. They know kids that are doing it or thinking it. They know probably more than I know, kids that are contemplating these things, and so they know, but we don't want that to become the normal. We don't want them to think that suicide is normal, is something that everyone's doing, because it really isn't. It's a very small number, but it has a huge impact, not just on the family or the victim's family, but a community, an entire state. It's a huge problem, and we don't want the kids to dwell on the shock factor.
I would say this, Brandy, and tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I think the old attitudes, and I can remember when I was growing up, I came from a very strict German household. My dad was extremely strict, and if ever we had thoughts that, we were concerned about something and kind of down in the dumps, so to speak, my dad would always say, oh, tough up, Well, it's more than toughening up. A lot of kids have a lot of burdens to bear, and mentally, it's pretty hard for them to get over those burdens unless they have the opportunity to talk to somebody.
You're exactly correct. It's, kids nowadays are facing a lot of different things that, even I grew up dealing with, and they need to know that it's okay, that these, having struggles with feeling down and depressed, that's not bad. There's nothing wrong with that. There's help out there. There's people to talk to. There's activities to get into that are going to help build other support networks that are going to make you not dwell on that. And so that's really what we're trying to get, is to get our kiddos to understand that it's okay. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to go to adults. It's okay if you're worried about a friend to go and talk to a teacher and let them know so they can contact the resources that that kiddo is going to need. There's nothing wrong with having mental concerns. And, as Westerners, we don't like seeking out help. We're taught, generations and generations back to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and to do it and just suck it up. But the reality of it is, that's not necessarily helping. it's getting people to think, well, I can't go anywhere for help.
All right,
I
now
have to do this on my own.
I want to stress that this is going to be on May 8th at 6 p.m., and I'll let you pick it up from there, Brandy, and invite everybody to be there. I can't imagine why, and I underline that word why, there wouldn't be every single parent there for the children that go to that school system. What about people from outside other areas? Are they also invited?
I will take anybody who wants to know more.
Okay.
We are just doing it in our Declo High School library, but I'm willing to take anyone who is interested or has concerns to come to our school to listen to what has to be said. I know that it's been kind of a taboo topic that, kind of brushed under the rug thing, but we need to talk about it. We need to know that it's going on, and we need to accept what can we do to help change it. And so this meeting is really to inform people, to look for those risks, to see what they can do, where they can help out. And it's not just, it's not just for Declo High School kids and their families. It's for, people over in Burley are welcome. People from Minico are welcome. Anyone is welcome to come to this. I just want the word to get out there that there are things that we can do here in our community that will help save our kids.
Absolutely. Brandy, I thank you, and I mean that because this is a topic that cannot be minimized, and thank you so much, Counselor at Declo High School. And again, that meeting, very important meeting at the Declo High School Library, will be on May 8th at 6 p.m. Brandy, thank you again for being on the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And that, of course, is Cassia County School Days for today, brought to you by A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley and Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley. Two wonderful businesses serving you. Thank you very much. We're going to have another guest on the phone with us in just a moment. Stand by, but I want to remind you that tomorrow night, oh boy, are we going to have a good time with the grand reopening of Duck Uglies at 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. Yep, Jack Bates, owner-manager, new management. Hello, Jack. How you doing? Hey, they're going to have a great big pig roast tomorrow night and all the trimmings and the $10 a plate. And with the $10 per plate, you get raffle tickets. You might win a flat-screen TV. Holy cow. At 5 o'clock, they're going to start with the music of Ned Carter, and then it's going to go to Barton and Bowler. Oh, my. What fun we're going to have tomorrow night at Duck Uglies. Grand reopening at 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. Be there, okay? Right now in our business salute for this week, we are very fortunate to have the sales manager of SafeLink Internet, and they've been with us on this program for a long, long time. And we say good morning to Nathan Rasmussen. Nathan, are you there?
I am here.
I understand from my lovely wife, when she contacted you to come on the radio, you were jumping for joy, anxious to be on the radio, right?
I think the word would be giddy.
Well, Mr. Giddy, hey, tell us a little bit about SafeLink for the folks that might not be aware.
Well, SafeLink Internet's been around for 17 years in the Magic Valley. And we now cover the Magic Valley, Treasure Valley, and Eastern Idaho.
Oh, my. Now, I've got to tell you right now, Nathan, I have been extremely happy, and I'm not saying this as an advertisement or a commercial. I've been extremely happy with the service, SafeLink Internet, and you've got some really good people working for you. Tell us a little bit about your staff.
Well, we have three main offices. Our home office is in Rupert, and that's where you'll find our customer service representatives, as well as our management team. Mm-hmm. And then we also, in our Boise office, we have our sales call center, where if you call in and want to sign up, you're going to talk to the wonderful people over there. And over here in Eastern Idaho, in Idaho Falls, we have an office where we have our marketing, and that's where I reside as a sales manager.
All right, now, what do you do as a sales manager? I mean, what are you in charge of as far as the promotion of SafeLink Internet?
Well, we're always looking for new and exciting ways of getting in touch with those potential customers. Being in Idaho for 17 years, a lot of people have heard of us, but there are still those people that we haven't gotten in touch with or found a way of getting in their homes or to let them know about our services. So my job is to, basically, I travel the whole state from end to end, training and teaching our sales staff how to communicate with customers. We do a lot of trade shows. We also send mailers out, so people in areas with new towers or new service or upgraded service have an opportunity to hear about SafeLink and sign up.
Now, let's talk a little bit about SafeLink itself. And we've been telling everybody what are the qualifications to sign up for SafeLink Internet. It's really easy for the consumer, is it not?
It is very much so. SafeLink Internet is a line-of-sight Internet service. And so to be able to receive our service, you have to be able to have a line of sight from your home to our access points. And being that we've been in Idaho for so long, we have more access points than any other wireless internet company in the state of Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you call in, we will do a quick check to make sure you're in our coverage area. And if you're in our coverage area, then we'll set you up with a plan and then roll a technician out to install you. Then he'll climb up on your roof and find an access point and run it down, and you'll then have our service.
All right, and I'll tell you what, your slogan is Idaho's #1 choice for wireless internet. Why? Why has it become #1? What do you do above the competition?
Well, we keep it right here in Idaho, and I think that's probably the key that makes us #1. Our goal is to provide Idaho a quality internet service no matter where you are, whether you're in town or out in the boontoolies. And so the quality or the price doesn't change whether you live clear out in the sticks in Parma or if you're in downtown Boise. And the same thing with the Magic Valley. If you're in Twin Falls or if you're clear up in Cary, Idaho, we're going to give you the same price and the same service no matter where you're at.
I'll tell you what, I'm really, really high on the job they've done for us, and the service has been absolutely excellent. And we've been on the phone with the sales manager for SafeLink Internet, and he said he was giddy to be here today, and we thank him. Nathan Rasmussen, God bless you, man, and thanks for being on the air on behalf of SafeLink Internet.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be famous for a minute.
Okay. Come back again in the future, would you please?
I'd be pleased.
All right. Thank you very much. One of our great advertisers, and we say thank you to SafeLink Internet, and the number to call, 677-8000, SafeLink Internet. Okay, we are going to send this back over to our main studios, and we will be back in about 3 minutes. Don't you go away.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
I got to turn the microphone on first. Sorry about that. Morning. We're back on the air, and it's time for Gardening for Idiots, sponsored by Vicky's Country Garden, 185 South 600 west of Paul, and the number to call, 438-5663. Now, look over stage left. Here's Vicky.
She is calling in, sir. She was out in the greenhouse doing her plants.
Once again, she's not calling in yet?
Actually, she's calling in on the landline in about a minute or so.
About a minute. Okay, well, I'll do a little... How about if I do a tap dance? Everybody can watch. I'll just sit here.
She's calling in now.
Oh, she's calling now. Yep. All right, I'll do that same introduction. And now, after 30 seconds of filling, ladies and gentlemen, the owner of Vicky's Country Garden and the lady that knows all the answers to your gardening questions, here's Vicky.
Good morning, Zeb. Got a little wind this morning, as usual.
Well, yeah, so what else is new? I'm sick and tired of the wind, but you got to move out of state to get away from it.
This is true, and you could get into worse situations.
Oh, absolutely. So how are you?
Just doing great. We're just getting ready for Mother's Day. We've got flowers and more flowers.
Okay, and then I understand you got hanging baskets, and you got shrubs, and you got ornamental trees.
We just got in a new shipment of ornamental trees and shrubs, and I may have another one coming in just before Mother's Day. We've got awesome fountains. We've got wind chimes of all kinds. We've got gifts, garden gifts like you can't believe, and time to get your name on baskets if you're wanting them for Mother's Day, because they're starting to move pretty fast.
Absolutely. Everything at 185 South, 600 West of Paul, Vicky's Country Gardens. Vicky, I've got some questions for you, and regarding our gardening for today, and we got to get right to it. And this lady writes in, and she sounds like Deanne in some respects. She said, my husband really isn't a garden fan, but he came out and helped put fertilizer on the garden, and he dumped it so full of steer fertilizer that you can hardly see anything. How much is too much?
That's a good question, really. If it was actual manure, like coming right out of the corrals, you've got to be kind of careful. It's best to put that on in the fall and till it in and let it break down over the winter. If you're putting it on in the spring, you can burn things a little bit with it. So he's going to want to till that deep and get it down in the ground as deep as you can. You don't want a great big amount of steer manure on top of laying on top of the ground, because your plants will burn in it. So you want to fill it and mix it really good with that top 12 inches or so of dirt. Usually you don't want not over an inch to inch and a half of manure put on a garden in the spring. You can put it deeper in the fall because it's going to break down. If it's compost, you're not going to burn as easy. Then you can just till it in, and you're good to go with compost, because it's not as hot as manure is. Okay.
So evidently it sounds like from her note that she sent me, it sounds like it's pretty deep and it's not going anywhere.
And that's going to need to be tilled. I don't know what her situation is. If she can throw a plow on it and roll it down underneath really good, she'll be good to go. But if she's running a tiller, till it absolutely as deep as possible, and go over it time and time again, so there's no big chunks or anything laying anywhere. Because if a root comes across one of those chunks of manure, it will burn it.
Okay. Now, this next lady that sent in a question, she said that she's heard you on previous programs, previous years, but she can't remember if you said to water early in the morning or water at night when it's cooler. What is the best?
Either way is fine. You just don't want to be watering during the middle of the day. That you just waste a lot of water. A lot of times evening watering is best, because the plants can absorb it, and they're set and ready for the heat that next day. But like I say, either that or early mornings. You can get them watered up early morning, and then they're set for when the heat comes in. Either way is fine. Just whichever works the best for you. But when I say early mornings, I don't mean 10, 11 o'clock. I use water like around 7 or 8.
Now
have the leaves dried by the time the sun gets really hot.
Now let me ask a question there, Vicki, because still at this time of the year we are still seeing some cooler temperatures at night. Would there be, if you watered at night right now in your garden, any possible damage because of the cooler temperatures at night with that high moisture content?
Well, that's kind of a catch-22. A lot of people, if you think it's going to freeze, if there's going to be a light frost come in, if you've got your garden wet, it won't freeze as easy. The water gives it kind of, if there's water on the leaves, it gives it a protection. The other drawback is if you're watering heavy at night and it's really cold, some plants, but there shouldn't be any plants that it's going to hurt right now. Peas will take it. But like cucumbers and tomatoes and things like, some of the squashes and that, they will damp off if they get real cold and wet at night.
Okay.
But your peas, your potatoes, radishes and things like that, they're a cold weather product, so they're going to be up strong enough to where it shouldn't bother them. But I don't think anybody's got squash and cucumbers and things like that up just yet.
Okay. Now, the next question, I'm having a hard time trying to decipher her handwriting. I'm assuming it's a lady. She said, I don't have room for a garden, but I want to grow some tomatoes and zucchini and the like in those barrels. What kind of soil do I use? I hope I understood the question right.
So she's basically wanting to do some container gardening.
I think that's what she meant.
So that is something that, that there's different ways of doing that also. There's some good potting soils out there that will grow tomatoes. You just have to realize that potting soils don't have fertilizer. They don't have a natural nutrient in them. So you have to keep your fertilization up on it throughout the summer. And that's like, an everyday, not an everyday, but at least once or twice a week, give them, if you're using liquid fertilizer, make sure you use like Miracle Grow or the Blooming and Rooting. My Fertile Blooming and Rooting is an excellent one for tomatoes and vegetables. And if you use that at least once to twice a week on them, that'll give them plenty of nutrient. Long-acting fertilizers down in the soil will help also. But there's just no nutrient in the potting soils. If you're mixing potting soil with actual soil, then you have a little bit of nutrient there again with your soil. But you still need to, on a container, you still need to put long-acting fertilizer and boost them with liquid fertilizers throughout the summer to keep them growing and keep them healthy.
All right. Now, I've only got time for one more question. I'm down to about the last 3.5 minutes. And here we go. We get this question every single week. This lady writes in and says, the voles, the mice, they're killing me. They're eating everything. They're in my flower bed. What do I do?
Like I said, there are different kinds of things you can put down. There's the poisons that you can put down, but if you've got animals, you don't want to do that too much. There is some stuff that's got castor oil in it that has a smell that supposedly they're not supposed to like it, and if they ingest it or whatever, it makes them sick. There's the sonar things that you can put down in the ground that puts out a beeping sound that irritates them, and it doesn't kill them, but it runs them off, puts them back out in the fields, back out at the neighbors or wherever, and it'll cover about 7,500 square feet. So there's things like that you can do, but they're a mean one. I've got sulfur bombs that you can put down if you've got holes, you can light these sulfur, they're like a firecracker, but they're a smoke bomb. You can throw that down the holes and smoke them out that way. There's just things like that you can try, it's an ongoing battle, I'll be honest.
Okay. Vicki, real quick, Mother's Day right around the corner, and I know you've got a lot of great gift-giving ideas. Once again, tell us what's going on over at Vicki's Country Garden.
Well, we're just fluffing everything up and getting everything prettied up for Mother's Day so everybody's baskets and stuff will be perfect and ready to go for Mom. We've got all kinds of bedding plants. We'll have some sales going for Mother's Day. And all the vegetables ready to plant your garden. And don't forget gift certificates. They make a great Mother's Day gift. Then Mom comes in and picks out what she wants and the color she wants.
Oh, God bless you, my child.
They make a very good Mother's Day gift, birthday gift, whatever. And we do have a lot. We do a lot of gift certificates. So just come in and see us, and we can sure solve all your problems for Mother's Day and your garden needs and yard needs and landscaping and whatever.
All right. You got a lot of rock and everything else?
I've got rock, and I hope to have my new rock out of Montana in by Mother's Day. I'm going to put the pressure on and get it down here.
All right. And tell everybody where you're located and what your hours are.
We are located on the Burley-Paul Highway, just before you get to West Minico. Coming from Burley, we're just right there before you get to West Minico on the Burley-Paul Highway. And our hours are 9 to 6. Monday through Friday, and 10 to 5 on Saturday, but our hours are going to be lengthening out as the season grows. We'll probably be open, and then we're going to be open on Mother's Day Sunday also. All
right, there she is, the lovely Miss Vicki at Vicki's Country Garden, 185 South 600 West of Paul, 438-5663. Good program, good answers. Vicki, see you next week.
All right, Zeb, have a good weekend.
All right, take care. Thank you very much. Vicki's Country Garden with a program called, named after me, Gardening for Idiots. I'm learning. Hey, it's time for the weather forecast. And the weather this hour is brought to you by Scarro's Meats. Delicious. Have you heard me talking about that $300 tax return meat package? Listen to what's in there. Beef and pork and chicken and cheese. I mean, like ground beef patties and rump roasts and New York steaks and pork chops and bacon and brats and chicken and cheese. Oh, my goodness, it's delicious. Call them today at 324-7657. They're located at 331 North Road, Jerome. Scarro's Meats. Meats, and they sell taste one bite at a time. Here now, Michael Rogers weather.
Hello, everyone. Michael Rogers is at the ranch. Yeah, another nice day, 70s. You know, I'm real big on sunny 70s bite. I mean, if you want to get a whole explanation on how it's going to be sunny 70, you can watch Cantori on the Weather Channel. You can watch KMVT. With me, it's real simple. It's going to be sunny, high today at 70, and enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.
Hey, Wheels, I can hear you talking on the air, buddy. Turn your mic off if you've got it on. Don't forget Scarrow's Meats, selling taste one bite at a time, and they're located at 331 North Road, Jerome. The telephone number to call, 324-7657, Scarrow's Meats. Delicious. There's the weather forecast for this weekend. Let's check and see if we have Mike Haskin on the program. Is he there?
Yes, Zeb, I am.
Hello, Mike. How you doing? Good to hear from you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? What do you represent? And I know that you're going to probably mention Relay for Life. Tell us.
Yes, sir, I am. Again, my name's Mike Haskin. I'm over here in Rupert. I have an insurance agency I've owned for a number of years. Been involved with the Minnecasia Relay for Life since its inception back in 1998.
Okay, now Relay for Life, what is the purpose for having this annual event?
You know, it's primarily a fundraising event for the American Cancer Society to provide funds for funding research programs, providing patient services, and information to folks going through cancer treatment.
And I have had on some previous occasions the honor of being connected to the Relay for Life. And what are the plans for this year? Dates, times, places, everything. What's going on?
This year, it'll be the third year we've held it over at the Cassia County Fairgrounds over there. It's going to be held June 19th and 20th. A change this year from last year is that it's normally been about a 15 to 18-hour event, and with some feedback we've received from participants and such, we've scaled that back to try to make it a little more convenient for folks. And it's going to be a 12-hour event starting at 6 p.m. on Friday the 19th, running till 6 a.m. Saturday the 20th. But we'll still have all the components of a regular relay with the opening survivor ceremony and celebration, the luminary ceremony at 10 o'clock where we honor those who have lost their fight and honor those who have also made it through. And then we'll have closing ceremonies about 6 a.m. on the 20th.
Mike, how do people get involved in this? And, you know, I don't think there's any disease or health detriment as prominent as cancer. And I'm sure it touches almost every family in America. So how do people get involved, and why should they get involved?
Well, they can get involved by Vicki Cole here in the area is the actual employee of the American Cancer Society in the area. They can call her. They can get a hold of anybody on the committee. They can call me and get involved with a team. We advertise quite a bit out there for new teams and survivors and try to notify and get the information out. And like you said, it affects almost everybody, Zeb. And basically by the end of today, during this day, we'll have lost 1,600 folks to cancer across this country.
Oh, my. Well, now, when you say we've lost another 1,600 people due to this dreaded cancer and all the variations, what about cancer study and cancer research? Is that a reason as to why the Relay for Life is so important?
You bet. The majority of the funding goes towards the research, and the Cancer Society spends about $400 million a year for research and programs, and that's not enough money actually to fund all the programs that they look at. So they have what they call peer review committees across the country that review grant applications and look at what people are asking them to fund and determine whether they can fund it or not, or if that's a worthwhile thing to fund. And there comes a point there where you've just run out of money for the year. And of course, the scare there is that next application might have been the one that you really needed to fund, but unfortunately, sometimes they just run out of money. But there's been great strides. There's been about a 20% reduction in cancer deaths over the last 15, 20 years, even though we lose 1,600 people a day. So they're making progress, but it's kind of an elusive target.
You know, Mike, my family has had more than its share of this dreaded disease, cancer. And what about families that want to get involved? I mean, people that want to get involved in Relay for Life. What do they do? I mean, what's the premise of getting involved on June 19th and 20th?
Well, aside from the fundraising, and most of the fundraising is going to be going on right now and up till the day of the event. There is some on-site fundraising, but a lot of that after that is a way for families to come meet other families that have went through or are currently going through the same thing that they are, know that they're not alone out there, get together, celebrate the victories they've had, console each other on things that haven't went well, and kind of celebrate life and take part in the different ceremonies and stuff that we have. So families, caregivers of cancer patients and survivors, and the Cancer Society refers to a survivor as anybody who's been diagnosed and is fighting their way along, whether it's been a day or 20-some years. So any of those folks are welcome to come. They can sign up at the event. They can get a hold of somebody within the committee and get more information that way.
Mike, now the event that's going to start at 6 p.m. on the 19th and go through the next morning, the 20th at 6 a.m., I know that you talked about the various ceremonies and the various introductions, etc., but how is the event constructed? Tell us a little bit about actually the Relay for Life. How does that work?
Okay. Usually late afternoon, they hold a survivor celebration. They're actually going to hold a dinner for all those survivors that they've received invitations and show up on Wednesday night. And then probably about 5 o'clock on Friday, they'll get together, kind of hand out their medals, which are a very important part of the ceremony for the survivors. They get a medal each year that, basically they're going to have another birthday usually that year, and that becomes a big thing. So that's part of opening ceremonies. We introduce the survivors. We have them start the survivor lap, which actually starts the event, and then after that we get into the actual walking. Goes all night long. 10 p.m. we kind of shut down the track and have what they call the Luminaria ceremony, which is it can be a very special time for folks who are newly going through it. Nerves and emotions are still raw, but that's where we kind of pay tribute to those folks who've lost their battle and also celebrate those who have. And there's some special things that go on during that time. We light luminary bags for those folks. We have torches lit around the track area. It's a very impressive sight at that point in time.
All right.
Then we pick back up and walk through the night. And part of Relay, as far as being an overnight event, is supposed to symbolize the fact that when a person gets cancer, pretty soon they have some pretty dark times, some pretty tough times. And that's kind of that overnight slog, if you will, that we all go through. I mean, you get tired out there, your muscles start to get tired, you start to cramp up a little bit, but you keep going.
Right.
And then the next morning when the sun comes up, that's kind of when the cancer patient starts to see that end in sight where they're going to come through treatment and they're going to be okay. And that's what it kind of symbolizes.
I love it. I just think you folks are absolutely doing a wonderful service for the community with this Relay for Life on June 19 and 20. We're going to be telling everybody about it every day starting next week. Mike, is it too late for businesses to get involved, or have you got everything all set, or what's the status there?
We solicit businesses around the area, each year as our business sponsors to help underwrite the cost of the event so that the money that the participants raise don't go to buy T-shirts and expenses and things like that. And we're always looking for business to get involved if they so desire. We've kind of got a lot of that taken care of for the year, but if somebody wants to be involved with it, we would love to have them be a part of that. And we just look forward to everybody coming out that night.
All right, Mike, I want to tell you how much I appreciate it, and I know that I'll have you back on the air again in the near future. Mike Haskin of Haskin Insurance, Rupert, Idaho, thank you for sharing with us this morning about the Relay for Life, June 19th and 20th at the Cassia County Fairgrounds. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Zeb. Appreciate being on your show.
All right, sir. God bless. Have a great day. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Very nice man right there, Mike Haskins, talking about a subject that is absolutely very important to all of us. Relay for Life at the Cassia County Fairgrounds, June 19th and 20th, and hopefully we can all beat that dreaded cancer. Let's see. Oh, I've got to pay some bills here real quick with our major sponsor, Spring Tire Sale going on at your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. What do you mean Spring Tire Sale? Well, I mean you better get in there before you take off for Aunt Martha and Uncle Fred's and maybe Granny's house. Hey, all your spring and summertime driving safely with the tires that are on sale right now at your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. Holy cow! Tires like the pickup and SUV tire, the Wildcat AT2, or like for your passenger car tires, the Ultra Z900. And of course, they've always got convenient credit for tires and services and the best tire value promise in the industry. Along with this, you know, all 7 locations have the best in brake service and front end alignments and shocks and struts and batteries. I'm telling you, but above all, they've got the best in people. Yep, they do. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. I want to say thanks to everybody for being a part of the program this week. Thank you for all your excellent calls and comments, and we're looking forward to next week. We've got a whole week full of great, great people all over the United States, many of which are involved in all the news that's going on right now. We're filling all the segments with people that you can relate to and understand, and it's hard to believe next Monday when we start the show, it's going to be already May 4th. Oh, my goodness. On behalf of my lovely bride and myself, Deanne and I, we say we hope you have a wonderful weekend, and if you're going someplace, go safely and be back here again on Monday morning at 8:06 as we'll have you listening to the program on KBAR 1230 a.m. and then streaming live on the internet at zebbell.com. And always remember, the way things were are the way things ought to be. We'll see you Monday. Zeb at the Ranch. Have a good one.